Hello. Yes, in the air again. And thank you for being there too. Thank you for your presence. And I'm so inspired by a play I saw yesterday. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it and yeah, the inspiration I received by it, but also the wandering. And it's a wandering I already do for a couple of years, but especially um, for the last months again. And yeah, maybe you can wander with me. Maybe you get inspired by the inspiration of the play. Um, yeah, so I'm really thrilled to share it with you. But first, I'm gonna tell you about the play. I went yesterday to the theater in Amsterdam, Carré. It's a very famous theater in Amsterdam. Beautiful old building, old theater, and nostalgic theater. And it's an honor if you can play there. And a friend of me is playing in that play. So, of course, I went for the play, but also for him. And yeah, I'm always feeling like that if I see him playing. He's such a characteristic man and so impressive. And now we had a really characteristic and impressive role. So goosebumps, not only for him but also for everything in the play. It was a really strong, impressive, also funny, but very inspiring play. It was the story of Hades town, um, and that was based on the mythology of Hades and Orpheus. Hades was the king of the underworld, and Hades Orpheus um, was a musician, a poetic musician, and of course the myth. It is a myth from the Greek mythology, I think. Yeah, but it's also can applied on the Romanian. They are kind of the same. Sometimes they have different names for the gods, and um, now it was brought into a play that was called Hades Town. So it was a mythology of Hades and Orpheus, but then with an, of course, um, nowadays touch. So very inspiring and so well played. Yeah, yeah, I really, really, really loved it, and I'm still thrilled by it. But also was brought me into wondering again, and I shall short tell the story what I know from the myth of Hades and Orpheus, and that was brought into a nice play with modern touch. So, um, and as all the myths and sages have a, have is they have of course always a message, because that was the way um, people teach each other also, and mirrored each other, mirrored humans, like with stories of the gods. It's very interesting because you can see why we do what we do because of those stories. We are also influenced by them, and yeah, why history went like this, and it's still applicable on now. So that's also a crazy thing, you know. That's why I wonder, but that's for later. So Hades was the god king of the underworld, masculine man of the underworld. There is dark, still destroying. Do you see the link with Shiva? And he met a beautiful woman at the upper world. You can also see a link with the underworld and the upper world, or below and above, from the Vikings and all the religions, as above as below, as below as above, Um, so very inspiring, because everything is like connected, interlinked, intertwined, and give the kind of same message. Of course, Hades fell in love with this beautiful woman dancing in the sun with flowers, really aliveness, joy, pleasure, light. Women, feminine energy. And of course, masculine energy is attracted to feminine energy. About light, talking about light. That's how it is. Masculine energy wants, needs feminine energy. It's attracted to that aliveness. Like Shiva was attracted to Shakti, because it needs each other. That's the dance of polarity. And they fell in love. They, they unioned with each other. But Hades brought her to the underworld because she was his. That's how egos deal with love. You are mine. But the underworld is dark and still, cold, and she was warm and joyful and playful and light. And of course, the feminine energy is dark, but she is alive. So, like dark in not alive. And they decided that she half a year goes to the upper worlds, to the the living, I don't know, and there is where the seasons came in, spring and summer, when she got up. But then, in every love, there is ego. And then it can't be love. Again, it becomes a cry for love. Hades becomes jealous. Hades got the feeling of fear because of that old feeling we all have, that deep down feeling of separation. He was afraid to lose her, that she wouldn't come back. But as a loyal woman does, she's come back. So Hades got fear, doubt, jealousy, and then wants control. So every time Hades come earlier and earlier to get her back. So the winters become longer and longer, and the humans on the earth were kind of in starvation more than in the fruitful summer. So, and Hades, when he was in love, was a different person in the beginning. He even sang a song. Even he sings a song. I don't know how you say that in English, but you know what I mean. That's what feminine energy does with masculine energy. It brings a little bit aliveness in the masculine energy. But then ego came in, and that's joyful aliveness was taken over by the ego with fear. And then you want control. So that was a beautiful message. And that influenced, of course, the seasons. Now, and then there was Orpheus. These stories were now intertwined. I don't know if it's in a real thing, but I think so. And Orpheus was a musician, and he had a gift. He had downloads of a beautiful song, but it was not finished yet. And he met a beautiful wife, a nymph called, um, I don't know, I lost her name. The beautiful wife of Hades was called Persephone, and of Orpheus was, I don't know. If I came on the name, I will tell you. So he fell in love, and she fell in love. But the winters became longer, and there was starvation. And the beautiful wife of Orpheus, or lover, they were not married yet, was, um, how do you say that in English? Seduced by Hades to come to the underworld, so she had food. But there, she had to work for him in the dark, in hell. She sold her soul, her life, for a full belly, and left Orpheus. Because Orpheus was so focused on finishing the song to get summer back, because every time he sang that song, there was some joy, some pleasure, some aliveness. Even little flowers started to grow and birds to sing, even if it was winter. So he had to finish it because he was believing, about speaking about the sun, believing that then summer want to come back, that that will become everything good again. So what you see here, that because of the how do you say it, the relation and with Hades and his beautiful Persephone was not in a beautiful, real union anymore. Not a union that is um, based on unconditional love, but was now conditional love. The seasons were not aligned anymore, and there was more dark than light, more winter than summer. So Orpheus was gifted by that he had a song in his energy, and he was so focused on his purpose that he almost forgot his wife or his love. And that sometimes what man has to do, but we as women find very hard to do, to give him that space, because we want to be number one and he has to take care of us. Yes, he has to, but he does that with his purpose too. We as women has to see that we are not only always number one. A man is driven, masculine energy is driven by purpose, heartfelt purpose. Of course, now a lot of men are not driven by heartfelt purpose, but by fear-based purpose. So she was seduced by Hades, who was thinking, oh, I like that girl and I want her in my underworld so she can work for me and she has food. So he seduced her with food, as he signed, and was taken to the underworld. And when noticed by Orpheus, he came to get her. And of course, a difficult road to take, but he did it. And then he brought that song to Hades town, to the underworld of Hades town, really to Hades. And it was the song of Hades. So, the song Hades was singing when he met, or when he felt in love with Persephone. So he had touched by this song the memories, fell in love again with Persephone, and there comes some aliveness back in him, some joy and warmth and pleasure. And at that moment they asked, Orpheus asked if he could bring back his lover and go back to the upper world. And then Ego comes back to Hades. If I let him go, then they will doubt about my presence, my leadership. And if I don't let him go, they will say I'm cruel and they will hate me even more. And of course, we also want to be seen. So that was his fight in his head. And he decided to let Orpheus go with just one thing, a test. You can both go. You have to walk in front, your lover behind you. And you can't look back. And if you are at the upper worlds together, then you will be free. But if you look back, if your lover is still be with you, following you, before you at the upper worlds, then she will be stay in the underworld. I will take her back. And full of love and trust, they went. But then doubt came in. Ego came in. Doubt. Doubt about his leadership. Doubt about knowing the way. Doubt about if his wife or his lover is really following him, is really loving him. Doubt if he could take care of her. Doubt if he could lead her. And that's still going on in a lot of masculine energy. They have lots of fear and doubt about their inner strength, their inner leadership, their inner protectionship they have, and the doubt if a woman will follow, will love him really. And he fight that doubt, and he fight, but the longer the road, the more doubt they give. And now, you can already know it, just before the last kilometers, he looked back. Doubt, ego, the feeling of separation, fear, won. And now Orpheus was walking, and never looked back anymore. He was carrying that burden. And this is so what still is going on too. Like I said, masculine energy has to deal with the doubt and the fear, especially the doubt of their inner strength, their inner king, their inner leadership and protectionship. And of course, will my lover still love me, still follow me? Can I lead her? Can I protect her? Can I hold her? Can I take care of her? Because that is damn full scary, to take care of that lot of aliveness a woman is, that lot of emotion woman is. And it's also a symbol of, can I take care of my feminine energy, my own emotions, my feelings? So that's the fear of the masculine, the fear of the feminine. And that can be that pillar of presence, that conscious and safe space container in which the feminine energy can behold his own feminine energy and the energy of the feminine, the woman. Or in gay relations, it is the man with the more feminine energy, and in the women is, it's about energy. It's not only about gender. That's such a symbol that I think, yeah, and it still is. This still is. But we also have now that the women took too much masculine energy, and yes, refused to follow the masculine because of his doubt of his leadership. So they feel the doubt, so they don't trust. So they become masculine energy themselves. And of course, that has a lot of other layers underneath it. Of course, why women now do this, and or feminine energy becomes more masculine energy. But like in big lines, I was thinking, wow. And this is an old story. And they were singing that too. Like, it's an old story, but we're telling it over and over again. And it still can still be told because it's still adaptable. It's still so. There is where I'm wondering is coming from, that, like, wow, they are such old myths, and we still have that ego thing, that, like, wow, we don't learn. We have mirrors, all old mirrors, and we're still doing the same thing, the same old song over and over again, but then maybe with a little bit more uh, nowadays life, but it's still in the core, it's still the same, and that comes from the deep feeling of separation. That's the thing we have to heal. And then I was wondering, okay, if all those old myths and sagas and religions and, like, tools they have from the old ancestors, that wisdom, we miss something because we still not changed. So there is something missing in all those wisdom, because if it didn't, we were really changed. Of course, we evolve very slowly now. And yes, ascension is taking place. Yes, evolving we do, but very tiny steps. And it seems to go faster now, but we're grabbing still back on those old, how can I say, the tools. I want to call it tools. But I think we need something to add to that, because, yeah, there's a missing link. So what's the missing link? What do we as humans now really need to, I don't know, embody, feel, so that we can make that switch, that we can let the ego rest and only use the ego for the ratio things we have to do to be here in life and to live in this reality, but in love instead of fear. And that's always a cry of love. So there's only love, but it's a love or it's a cry of love. That you see in the play too. It's love or it's a cry for love. Hades cried for love in his fear and his jealousy and his fear of losing her and taking control. That's a cry for love. And Orpheus, his cry for love was looking back, control too. So it's love or a cry for love. So if we can see that everything is love and that we have to embrace everything in that love as a cry of love, love, that's it, love, then we become non-dual and then we become being. And then everything will become much lighter. And but I think we have a missing link. We have a missing link to get people there because all those old wisdom wasn't enough. And I also believe we are here to create and not to copy paste. So we need a new message, a new teaching, and we have a lot of tools that are doors to go deep in because I think here it's already there. But a lot of people staying at the door don't go really in. So there's still such fear, I think, of not wanting to go to the real deal, to the pain, to the feeling, to the cry for love. But if you can't just could admit, yeah, I don't know, and and feel all the feeling there is, because that's life. And that union is dark and light. And the ego does not have to fight the dark, to control the dark. It has to love the dark. So the ego will dissolve as just a tool, and you become love, dark, and light. One union, whole. There will be less cries for dark, for love, because we see it as love. And then I think there will be more bliss. So yeah, it was such an inspirational play. The meat is still applicable, and then I'm going to wondering, but why are you not changing then? Because it's an old story we still sing. And yeah, but I think we will come to the missing link, or the het kwartje zal vallen. Zeggen we we will say in Dutch, het kwartje zal vallen. Dutch saying. Um, yeah, union. The story was also about union. Yeah, and that the ego is yeah, holding us back from union. And it was also a nice mirror for masculine feminine energy. And that's yeah, how still battle kind of. So we have tasks to do. We as men, we as women. I say we as men. I'm not a man, but we as women and the men. But they also have masculine energy. So yes, also have my masculine energy. Yeah, we have to dance with it. We have to dance with those polarities, and we have to dance with the love and the fear. Yeah, because that makes us humans in this life. So we have to deal with both, and that makes us one whole being. Yeah, I think you have to see the play for yourself. Maybe it's also playing in other countries. I don't know. If you live in the Netherlands, let's go. It's just playing there for only 2 weeks. Yeah, and it was also so beautiful to see. A friend of mine was playing it. I didn't know if I said it in the beginning, but yeah, he played Hades, and yeah, he's such a charismatic man and such an, how do you say that, impressive voice, and he played Hades so well. He really carried the play. Also, Orpheus was played very well with really an opposite person of Hades, so they casted the cast very good. Yeah, and yeah, the play was really carried by those two men and the teller. That was also a good actor. I don't know, also a famous actor, but I cannot come on the name. Martin, he was called. And Orpheus was played by. He played also Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar. McCoy. Yeah, McCoy is his back name, I think. I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, they were really carrying the play, and like the masculine energy was really carrying the play, and the women were very lightly there present. So this was also in the play visible, the dynamics. Um, yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had goosebumps several times, and yeah, it's of course very happy to see my friend of mine playing so good. And I always say he's one of the most beautiful men in the Netherlands. Oh, I didn't call his name, Edwin Jonker. So looking up, look him up, and yeah, you will fall in love. And he's so charismatic, and he did his role so good. And McCoy, yeah, beautiful voice. Yeah, so I really loved it, and yeah, very inspiring. And I'm still wondering again about that question: what do we miss? What's the missing link? Why we not come to that inner union? I don't know, but I still have hope we will become there. I'm almost at my workplace. It was a very long podcast. Sorry for that, but maybe you was really touched by the story, by the play. You can read it back in a beautiful book, Myths and Sagas of the Greeks. It's a beautiful book, and of course you can look it up. And maybe was not totally on point the story, but it was in great big lines what I uh, uh, saw of the story. So yeah, and it's a beautiful mirror of life. So yeah, therefore I like to go to that kind of big place because it has also always a beautiful message. Now I hope you are touched too, and have a beautiful day, night. I don't know, and hopefully see you or not see you, but feel you the next time.